After realizing I was the sycophantic supporting male character, I just gave up. I was on a parenting reality show with my 7-year-old stepdaughter, where other dads were cooking nutritious meals and acting like 10-event champions when it came to spoiling their kids. Meanwhile, I was playing video games until midnight and then sleeping straight through to noon. Well, not straight through. My stepdaughter woke me up twice. The first time, she had lunch ready and was calling me to get up and eat, and somehow our father-daughter duo blew up online. A popular comment from a viewer read, "This little kid is stressing herself out trying to take care of her clueless dad. Ha ha ha, I'm not eating your snacks, and I'm not drinking your milk, so stop bothering me." The little girl, as delicate as a porcelain doll, yelled impatiently, making my head throb. With a sweep of her hand, the little one knocked the snacks and milk I was holding to the floor. After the pain subsided, my mind suddenly became clearer than ever before as a flood of long-buried memories rushed back. I had a sudden epiphany. I was the sycophantic supporting male character in a novel. This supporting character, me, had used every trick in the book to marry the female lead, a CEO named Chloe Anderson, who already had a daughter. Less than half a year into the marriage, Chloe and the male lead, Liam Carter, fell for each other, both convinced they had found their true love. Chloe asked me for a divorce, and my stepdaughter, Sophie, became their biggest cheerleader, helping them become a happy family of 3. As for me, the simp of a supporting character, my love turned to hate. I harassed the female lead, framed the male lead, abused my young stepdaughter, and ultimately met a tragic end. Learning all this, I was a complete mess. I wanted nothing more than to get a divorce on the spot and get far away from the female lead, the male lead, and the stepdaughter. But right after the wedding, Chloe went abroad on a business trip and hadn't returned since. And before my epiphany, in an effort to build a father-daughter bond with Sophie, I had signed us up for a parenting reality show. Now, Sophie and I were already with the production crew. Breaking the contract meant paying a hefty fine, and I'd rather die than part with my money. I decided to just slack off and coast until the show was over. The one who had just yelled at me impatiently and knocked my snacks to the floor was Sophie. The little girl looked like a pixie, with eyes like dark, round grapes, long eyelashes, and fair, supple skin. Her high-quality pink dress made her look adorable and soft, but her temper was just as foul as her mother's. However, the only reason Sophie was on this show with me was because I had begged her mother. I told Chloe I wanted to build a relationship with Sophie. Chloe had married me wanting a hands-off approach to motherhood, so when I volunteered to take care of the kid, she used her maternal authority to force Sophie to agree. As a result, Sophie had given me the cold shoulder the entire trip, while I shamelessly fawned over her, asking if she was okay, offering her water and snacks, acting as attentive as an old servant. But the one trying so hard to build that father-daughter bond was the me from before, the one who hadn't woken up. The me right now was enlightened, just thinking about how this little girl acted like a tiny iceberg around me, only to instantly transform into a sweet, obedient, and charming angel for the male lead, Liam Carter, made me lose all motivation to cater to her, even if she were my own flesh and blood. "You said you didn't want it, so I'll stop bothering you." I swiftly gathered all the snacks from the floor back into my bag, then deliberately pulled out her favorite lime-flavored potato chips and started crunching on them. "There's nothing difficult in the world if you're willing to give up." Sophie snorted, as if she didn't believe me for a second. Before my awakening, I was a love-struck idiot, a total simp. After getting signed to Chloe's entertainment company on the strength of my God-given pretty face, I focused all my energy on chasing her, completely neglecting my career. Several times, I ditched work on set just to accidentally run into her, earning me a terrible reputation in the industry and a storm of criticism from online users. Zero professionalism. The moment I appeared on screen, the live chat was flooded with insults directed at me. "Damn, that simp actually showed up. Go die. How can something so disgusting share the screen with my god, Liam? See that little cutie Sophie next to him? This guy is desperate to be her stepdad. I heard the little cutie has a super powerful background. As for how a pretty boy like him got where he is, well, if you know. With that revelation, combined with my fawning behavior towards Sophie on the way here, the comments section was calling me a shameless toad with skin thicker than a castle wall, a simp, and worse. And because Sophie had completely ignored me from the start, with her only interaction being a temper tantrum, the viewers were all praising her for being so clear-headed. I sighed internally. Couldn't these people see I had turned over a new leaf? I took a carton of milk, tore off the plastic around the straw, and jabbed it in. Sophie turned to look at me, her little mouth curling into a disdainful smirk, her expression screaming, "No matter how much you suck up, I'm not drinking any milk you give me." After sticking the straw in, I didn't even offer it to her. I just started drinking it myself. The little girl's delicate face froze. She must have thought that, like before, I would eagerly hand her the milk, desperate to project the image of a doting father. After all, ever since we'd met, I had been exactly what the viewers called me, a simp, constantly trying to please her and her mother. But who would have guessed that this time, I'd drink it myself? The viewers were losing their minds. "This is way too juicy. Whoa, this drama is huge. What is wrong with this guy? Is he playing hard to get? Using mind games on a 7-year-old? You're overthinking it. We arrived at the filming location, a remote countryside resort in the Catskills. The guests were staying in a 3-story villa, and the others hadn't arrived yet. Sophie and I each took a sofa. She played with her dolls and I played on my phone. I didn't stop snacking. I'd been so busy hovering around Sophie before we left that I hadn't even eaten breakfast. Now, after finishing the chips and some chicken wings, I moved on to cookies, dried fruit, pistachios, the whole spread. Sophie kept stealing glances at me, her little face growing visibly darker with each look. When I picked up a straw and punctured the only bottle of her favorite Yoo-hoo in the bag, she couldn't stay calm any longer and shot to her feet. If you eat everything, what am I supposed to eat? You pretty boy, you. Sophie fell for it. That pretty boy must be so smug. He's definitely going to give her all the snacks now. Sigh, so disappointing. Sophie's going to naturally start liking him now. It's not Sophie's fault. That damn pretty boy is just too manipulative. Tempting a 7-year-old like that, who could resist? I'm a 19-year-old baby and even I couldn't resist. I stuck the straw into the Yoo-hoo and said to Sophie, "You're the one who said you wouldn't eat my food. But I want it now. Give me the Yoo-hoo." Too late. You're the adult, and I'm the kid. Can't you just let me have the Yoo-hoo? We're both new at this being a person thing. Why should I have to give in to you? Sophie's face turned even redder, but her darn childish pride wouldn't let her back down. But I'm your daughter. You said you would treat me like your own. Oh, that was before. Now that I'm married to your mom, I've realized we're not compatible. She doesn't like me, so I'm planning to divorce her. You won't be my daughter for much longer. You said it, so you can't take it back. I'm gonna call my mom right now and tell her you want a divorce. Kids these days are too smart, so precocious. She had seen me act pathetically in front of her mother too many times before. Once, I was so desperate to see Chloe that I was even about to threaten suicide. So even a child like her knew I was head over heels in love with her mother. When I said I wanted a divorce now, Sophie thought I was just trying to scare her. I took a sip of the Yoo-hoo and nodded like a pecking chicken. Yep, go ahead and call her. Sophie, who clearly hadn't expected such an agreeable response, fell silent. The live chat also went unusually quiet. After a while, a comment finally popped up. I don't think the pretty boy is playing games or bluffing about the divorce. Talking about divorce on the show, is he for real? Is he really willing to give up the wealthy marriage he shamelessly simped his way into? Could it be he's finally getting the water out of his brain? But saying it in front of the kid is just awful. What's the big deal? He's just the stepdad, and Sophie doesn't like him at all. She's probably thrilled he's bringing up divorce. I just can't bring myself to like him, no matter what. Footsteps sounded outside the villa, and the live chat exploded, but none of the new comments were about Sophie and me. The entire screen was now spammed with Liam Carter's name. The heartthrob has arrived. Ah, he's so handsome. I want to swing on his nose bridge. Finally caught my man Liam. OMG. So handsome. Licking the screen. JPG Liam Carter, fair-skinned but rail-thin, walked in with a large backpack, a huge suitcase in one hand, and a cute 5-year-old girl in the other. Liam smiled and said hello to me. After setting down his bags, he gently lifted the little girl, Ava, onto the sofa. Liam was the only single guest on this season, and the child with him was a non-celebrity kid named Ava, handpicked by the director for being beautiful, smart, and clever. Liam unzipped his backpack, pulled out a pack of Yoo-hoos, and walked over to Sophie, who was still glaring at me. He smiled gently and said, "Sophie, I happen to bring your favorite Yoo-hoos. Here you go." He acted very familiar with Sophie, which didn't surprise me. His actions were exactly as they were in the novel's plot. If I hadn't had my epiphany, I would have exploded right then and there. Before coming on the show, I had received an anonymous envelope containing photos of Liam in Chloe's car and of Chloe hugging Liam. Liam was also an artist at Chloe's company, a top-tier actor, but the two of them never seemed to interact privately. Receiving photos like that out of the blue, I couldn't quite believe they were in a romantic relationship. But here on the show, seeing how familiar Liam was with Sophie, it was a different story. Sophie was usually embarrassed to let people know she loved drinking Yoo-hoo. In the original plot of the book, I didn't look closely and immediately believed the photos, convinced something was going on between them. That's what started my journey of self-destruction as the villainous supporting character. I would have forbidden Sophie from drinking the Yoo-hoo he gave her, but the more I tried to stop her, the more determined she would have been to drink it, causing a huge scene and earning me even more hatred from the audience. But now I was awake. Since Liam wanted to interact with Sophie, I quickly moved out of the camera's view, stepping aside to continue drinking my Yoo-hoo and scrolling on my phone. The live chat was full of praise for Liam. Damn, I never knew Liam was so gentle and such a gentleman in real life. I was watching the stream on the way here and saw Sophie wanted a Yoo-hoo. He comforted her the second he arrived. You know, if Sophie's stepdad was the gentle heartthrob Liam instead of that brain-dead pretty boy, the picture would be so much more harmonious and beautiful. I'm kind of starting to ship Liam and Sophie's father-daughter dynamic. I was speechless. In front of the legally married husband, they were hoping the other man would win her over. Who were the real brain-dead ones, spouting such morally bankrupt nonsense? So, Sophie wasn't wrong, Liam wasn't wrong, and I was the only one at fault. No matter what Sophie and Liam did, the audience adored them and only ever insulted me. Fine, I was a love-struck idiot, I deserved it, okay? Annoyed, I started playing a game on my phone. I had already moved away, but then something heavy landed in my lap. Liam had tossed the pack of yoo-hoos to me. Sophie's too shy to take it. You can hold it for her and give it to her later. Liam was still smiling, his tone still gentle, but his eyes were clearly cold. I looked at Sophie, confused, and she glared back at me. What was with this little devil? Why was she suddenly going off script? Ethan, you're the adult. You shouldn't be so immature as to snatch a child's snack. If you're really craving it, just hold on and buy some for yourself after the show. Liam is so right to call him out. This guy is such a glutton, stealing a kid's snacks. Seriously, is he a pig? Why even give that guy airtime? Isn't it better to just admire our amazing Liam? I picked up the yoo-hoos and decisively pushed them into Sophie's hands. Here, they're all yours. If you run out, just ask him. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to keep buying them for you. Liam's eyes lit up. He affectionately placed a hand on Sophie's head, his face full of fatherly love. Of course, Sophie. Anytime you want one, just tell Uncle Liam, and I'll buy them all for you. I stood up and walked out of the villa. I can't win against you people, so I can at least walk away, right? There were no official tasks for the day. It was mainly about capturing the guests' travel and arrival. For those of us who arrived early, the crew had arranged meals. Except for me, who didn't follow the plot and just slacked off playing games all day, Sophie spent her time with Liam and Ava. By the time all the guests had arrived, it was already evening. We drew lots for rooms and Sophie, Liam's group, and I ended up in 2 adjacent rooms. Each room had 2 beds. I had been playing games for most of the day, and after washing up, I lay in bed and continued playing. At 10:30, Sophie came back to the room. Without stopping my game or looking up, I asked, "Why are you back?" According to the plot, after Liam came to her rescue and gave her the yoo-hoos, she was supposed to fall for the gentle, gentlemanly male lead, clinging to him all day and dreaming of him becoming her father. And since I, the supporting character, hadn't tried to sabotage anything or drag her back, she should have completely forgotten about me and just slept in their room. So why did she come back on her own? After I asked, Sophie was silent for a long time. Taking a quick break from my game, I looked up and saw the little girl standing in front of my bed, her little fists clenched, her delicate face tense as she glared at me resentfully. I was confused. What's wrong? Who owes you money? Why didn't you come looking for me? This is my bed. Why did you want me to sleep somewhere else? The little girl yelled, her eyes red and welling up with tears that she fought hard to hold back. You were never like this before. Ava is so childish, and I had to play with her all day. I thought you would come get me, but no, all you care about is your stupid game. And why did you let me drink a stranger's yoo-hoo? Aren't you afraid I could have been poisoned? My mouth twitched. I don't think it would go that far. My teacher taught us not to take food from strangers. You're my stepdad, and you didn't even try to stop me. How can you call yourself my stepdad? Didn't I tell you? Well, until you're divorced, you're still my stepdad. After shouting, she huffed, turned around, and trotted off to take a shower. I was baffled. Why the sudden change in personality? Didn't she used to hate the idea of me being her stepdad? I felt like I must have missed something, so I paused my game and opened my phone to rewatch the livestream. I saw that of the pack of yoo-hoos Liam had given Sophie. She hadn't drunk a single one all day. She played dolls and games with Ava, but you could tell her mind was elsewhere. Liam tried to talk to her, but she was dismissive and didn't touch any of the food or drinks he offered. Just before she came back to our room, she had returned the yoo-hoos and all the other snacks to Liam. Thank you for your kindness, but my teacher said that children shouldn't take things from strangers. Liam's face stiffened on the spot. Sophie, your mother and I are very, very good friends. We're not strangers. My mother said that a married woman can't be very, very good friends with a single man. You and my mom might have been very good friends before, but she's married now, so you can't be her good friend anymore, just a regular friend. Otherwise, my stepdad will get upset, and if my stepdad gets upset, my mom will punish me. Thank you again for taking care of me today. Good night, I'm going back to my room now. Sophie even gave Liam a polite bow before leaving. Liam's expression must have been so awful that the cameraman couldn't help but pan away, robbing me of the chance to see his priceless reaction. And I have to say, Sophie's little speech completely changed the tone in the comments section. Amazing! Such a well-raised kid with great values. After hearing what Sophie said, I feel like I've wasted 10 years of my life. I'm not even as mature as a child. I almost started shipping the other man. I feel so ashamed. JPG. Even though I've never seen Sophie's mom, I'm already madly in love with this woman. It wasn't just them. I was also stunned by this side of Sophie I had never seen before. But I was still confused. Wasn't Sophie supposed to oppose me at every turn and get along perfectly with Liam, like a real father and daughter? Why the sudden change? Was it because I didn't turn into a villain and cause trouble? Isn't the rebellious phase supposed to hit in the teens? Can it start at 7? Was it because I didn't stop her, and in fact fully supported her going to Liam, that she rebelled by sticking to me instead? It seems the butterfly effect was in full swing, and the rest of the plot was likely to change as well. Sophie finished her shower and came out in a set of cream-colored cotton pajamas. The little girl looked refreshed, but her expression wasn't great. Her rosy cheeks were puffed out in a pout. As she walked to her bed, she looked at me with an expression that said, "You know you were wrong, don't you? Humph. Even if you apologize, I won't forgive you," like a proud little princess. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She got into bed, turned her back to me, and pulled the covers over her head. I sighed, got up, and took a limited edition doll out of my bag and walked over to her. "Don't you usually play with this before you go to sleep? Here, I brought it for you." Sophie huffed and ignored me for a few seconds before finally reaching out and snatching the doll to play with. I sat down on the edge of her bed. "Look, you've seen it yourself. Your mom has always been pretty cold to me. Even after we got married, I'm the one doing all the work. I'm tired now. I don't want to chase after her anymore. All I want to do now is work hard and make money. Even if your mom and I split up and I'm not your stepdad anymore, if you don't hate me." When did I ever say I hated you? The tips of the little girl's ears and her cheeks started to turn red. I couldn't help but smile. "All right then, if you don't hate me, let's be friends." I gently patted the blanket covering her. "It's settled then. You go ahead and play friend. Sleep when you're tired. I'm gonna play a few more rounds." Sophie stared at me, looking utterly lost and bewildered. I went back to my bed, lay down, and turned on my phone. "Friends? My ass LMAO.jpg. 20 years from now at Sophie's wedding, she'll point to a gray-haired man in the audience and say, 'This is my childhood friend, LMAO.jpg. Even though Sophie looks so confused and pitiful, I just can't hold it in anymore. Ha 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 ha. Allow me to laugh first. Ha 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 ha." I went and covered the camera. Even though it was a live stream, we were allowed to cover the cameras at night. "Oh, don't cover it. Don't cover it. We want to watch, please. I'm begging you. I want to stay up all night watching the cutie and the big goofball sob." Watching more and more viewers flood into my stream, I was completely puzzled. Why were they abandoning their beloved heartthrob Liam to stay up all night watching a disliked, scandal-ridden, D-list nobody like me? And who was this big goofball they were talking about? Me? They have no taste. I'm a perfectly clear-headed, intelligent man. But I had to admit, ever since Sophie came back, the comments in the live chat had become much more normal. I played my game while Sophie made and changed her doll into 2 new outfits before getting ready for bed. "Aren't you going to sleep?" My hands didn't stop. "After this round." But after one round, I couldn't resist starting another, and then another and another. To avoid disturbing her, I pulled the covers over my head, but the screen quickly fogged up, so I poked a small hole in the blanket for ventilation and kept playing. "It's midnight. Why are you still playing?" I was at a critical point in the game and had no intention of sleeping. I tried to placate her. "Just one more round, then I'll sleep." "That's what you said an hour ago. Friend, can you not bother me? This morning when you were playing with your dolls and told me not to bother you, I didn't, right? We have to be fair. So now you don't bother me, and you go to sleep, okay? But I didn't stay up all night playing with dolls." The kid had a point. Before I was fully awake, Sophie was there again. "Get up and make breakfast. The show isn't providing meals today, only ingredients. We have to cook for ourselves. Just a little longer." Between playing games and contemplating my twisted, crappy life as a supporting character, I had gone to bed too late and couldn't get up. I don't know how much time passed before Sophie woke me up again. "If we don't go now, the other groups will take all the ingredients. Then I'll just skip it. You can go get some from another group." Sophie left, but before I could fall back asleep, she was back. "Get up. I made breakfast, and you have to eat all of it." Such a determined little girl. I walked into the dining room, still on my phone, and was nearly blinded by the lavish East meets West breakfast spread on the table. Especially in front of Liam and Ava, there were freshly made dumplings, hand-pulled noodles, newly baked egg tarts, a pomelo peeled down to the pulp, and a fruit platter arranged like a work of art. The other parents had also prepared breakfast for their kids. "Liam, I can't believe a guy like you can cook so many delicious things." Liam smiled, pressing his lips together. "I started cooking when I was young, so I'm used to it." "So, Liam, you must have woken up really early today, right? It took me an hour just to make a sandwich and a fruit and vegetable salad, and I barely made it even though I got up at 6:30. I'm a bit out of practice, I got up at 4 a.m. I love kids and want to give them the very best. I also enjoy cooking, and these are all things Ava loves to eat and are good for her. When I have my own kids, I'll do this for them often. I love Liam. I love him to death. I want a capable husband like Liam too. His kids would be so lucky. I want to be his kid, but still, isn't it exhausting to wake up that early to make breakfast? Sacrificing a little sleep for someone you love is no big deal, right? No big deal? Then why are you saying you want to be his kid instead of a parent like him? I couldn't wake up that early every day just for breakfast. This adds one more reason to my fear of marriage and kids. Why does love have to mean sacrificing yourself? If that's the only form love takes, then count me out. I'd rather be single forever. Sophie had made toast and heated up some milk. I ignored the parents' discussion about early morning breakfast prep, sat down at the table, and quickly completed the must-finish breakfast mission Sophie had assigned me. I'm suddenly finding Ethan's slacker, friend-style parenting method quite appealing. I might be becoming a fan. I also really like his dynamic with her. He's caring when he needs to be and playful when it's time to have fun. It's relaxed and happy, which is great. Same here, because I'm just as lazy as he is. Ha 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 ha. Oh well, thank you so much. Because of what Sophie said yesterday, Liam was a bit embarrassed and didn't approach her much today. But he still sent Ava to play with Sophie and invited Sophie to share his breakfast, both of which she politely declined. This was a slow-paced reality show, and with several guests from wealthy families, the director didn't dare make things too difficult. The tasks were mostly just eating, drinking, and playing. In fact, there were no tasks scheduled for the morning at all. Seeing that the parents had woken up so early, the director, ever the considerate suck-up, wanted to give the guests a chance to rest. But as soon as breakfast was over, the parents, led by Liam, headed back into the kitchen to start preparing lunch for their little ones. Soon, I was busy just like everyone else. I was busy catching up on sleep. Sophie stopped me. Aren't we going to make lunch? I'll do it after a little nap, really. Trust me, friend. I swear on my ex-girlfriend's future marriage, I will definitely get up and make lunch in an hour. Sophie frowned. You had other girlfriends before my mom? I didn't answer, just dodged around her and scurried back to the room. Kid, you've been tricked. I'd bet my life savings that the ex-girlfriend he's talking about is Sophie's mom. You win. Ethan said on a show before that he's only ever had one girlfriend, his first love, who is now his wife, Sophie's mom. Ha ha ha. At least someone gets me. And so, for lunch, Sophie made a simple noodle soup and had to call me 4 times to finally drag me out of bed to eat it. I was too embarrassed to even look at Sophie while I ate. And you have the nerve to ask my mom for a divorce? You're so lazy. If you were alone with no one to take care of you, you'd starve to death at home. That would absolutely, definitely, positively not happen. When I'm not slacking off, I'm actually quite motivated. Besides, for the past 6 months, wasn't I the one who woke up early every single day to make breakfast for the two of them? But right now, I had no leg to stand on, so I didn't dare argue back and just kept my head down, eating my noodles. Sigh. This little kid is stressing herself out trying to take care of her clueless dad. The comment above is so damn accurate. Ha 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 ha. My dad just beat me, and when I came back to my room and saw the stream, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. My dad thought I was being defiant and came in to beat me again. Cry.jpg. My dad is even worse. He kicked and yelled at me, calling me crazy for forgetting to hang the laundry he asked me to do because I was watching this slacker. Now it smells and has to be rewashed. You should have your dad watch this stream and learn the reverse slacker parenting method from this guy. I wish I had a kid like that. Look how capable she is. The kid is way more diligent and reliable than you are. Ha ha ha. I was furious reading these comments. How dare they call me lazy? I was very diligent when I took care of Sophie and her mother. If it weren't for the circumstances, I would have wanted to take care of them forever. Forget it. You can't force what isn't yours. The noodles looked plain, but they tasted great because Sophie had borrowed some rich chicken broth from another dad to make them. Chloe wasn't just strict with her work. She was exceptionally strict with this child too. She couldn't slack off in her studies or her hobbies, and even though they had staff for daily chores, Chloe made her learn to be prepared, to take care of herself, to be independent, and not to rely too much on others. I heard that when Sophie was 3, not even tall enough to reach the stove, her mother ordered her into the kitchen to learn how to cook. Eating the delicious noodles, for the first time, I thought that having a daughter like this wouldn't be so bad. The thought had barely formed before I startled myself. I had promised myself I would stay away from them. I couldn't let one breakfast and one lunch sway me. Hang in there, Ethan. You can do it. Let's go. That evening, the director sent out a task via our phones. Visit a local specialty food street in the city. However, after this task, Liam, who had previously just been cold to me, now looked at me as if he wanted to kill me. Because halfway through the task, my viewer count, which had been just a few tens of thousands behind his, had more than doubled his by the end. To be honest, I was baffled. He was an A-list actor. The last few digits of his follower count alone could crush my entire fanbase. He had heavily promoted this show, and tons of his fans had been camping in his live stream since it started. Logically, no matter how popular Sophie and I got, we shouldn't have been able to surpass him. But reality was cruel. We surpassed him, hehehe. I thought back carefully but couldn't recall anything particularly eye-catching that Sophie and I did during the task. I remembered that after getting the task, feeling guilty about eating 2 meals she'd made, I told Sophie before we went to the food street that she could order whatever she wanted, and it would be my treat. Then, when we got to the food street, the little girl was struck with indecision. I was much better off. I didn't have that problem at all because only children make choices. Adults, of course, want everything. So, I took Sophie and we started conquering the street. Adhering to the principle of trying everything without exploding, we agreed to buy one of everything and split it. We really just had a very normal outing, strolling and eating some snacks. And now I was genuinely treating her as a friend. I bought a grilled sausage, thoughtfully broke off a small piece with the skewer to taste it, found it a bit spicy and gave the rest to Sophie, patting her on the shoulder and saying, "Friend, this is good. It's all yours." I bought the most expensive milkshake from the ice cream shop and even paid extra for an empty cup. I poured a little to taste it, it was delicious, and I accidentally drank the whole thing. Then I saw Sophie's crestfallen face, felt ashamed and embarrassed, and quickly bought her a new one. But she said she couldn't finish it, so I poured a little for her and drank the rest myself. It was only with the milkshake that I had a bit more. For everything else, I swear I only took one bite and gave the rest to the kid. I swear I really didn't steal her food this time. It was mainly because I had already drunk 2 milkshakes and was too full to even think about taking the kid's food. Hehe. So, there was no way we were doing something shameless like using Sophie to gain sympathy viewers. But the live chat in our stream was indeed much livelier than before. Ha 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 ha, I'm dying of laughter. Ethan is the biggest snacker I've ever seen. This goofball, he finished everything he liked and gave all the stuff he didn't like to his daughter, LMAO.jpg. So relatable. When I say I'm afraid of gaining weight, my boyfriend does the exact same goofy thing. Ha ha ha. Amidst this harmonious discussion, or rather roasting, the number of viewers in our stream started skyrocketing by the second. It was unbelievable. The next day, my live stream was almost shut down for a violation. Someone was spamming my comments section, accusing me of buying fake viewers. But before I could even react, everything went back to normal, and all the comments accusing me of buying followers vanished completely. I heard a commotion from the next room. I was just about to leave my room when I overheard the director at the door, yelling at Liam, telling him to stop causing trouble, or else not just the show, but his entire career would be ruined. Liam promised he would never do it again and begged the director to plead with some important person to forgive him for his stupid actions this time. I was shocked. The director used to treat Liam like a king, and now, in the blink of an eye, he was daring to yell at him. That level of growth was worthy of worship. After the director left, Liam came out a short while later. He seemed like a new person. Last night he looked like he wanted to murder me, and now he was suddenly calm and friendly. When our eyes met again, his gaze was as still as water, as if he had seen through the vanities of the world and was ready to achieve enlightenment on the spot. I had to resist the urge to run up to the director and give him a big thumbs up. I remarked to Sophie, "The director of our show is a badass." It wasn't the director, it was clearly my, never mind. If you say the director is a badass, then he's a badass. As long as you're happy. This little girl, who did she think she was talking to? So disrespectful. The task for the final day was to hike a mountain with breathtaking scenery along the way. Sophie and I took tons of photos, and her photography skills improved by leaps and bounds. I'm confident that when she's older and in a relationship, she'll never be the one who takes bad pictures. Once we reached the summit, it was time for the emotional wrap-up, the legendary, all-important tearjerker segment of the show. The hotel garden at the summit had been decorated by the crew to look like a wedding venue, romantic and beautiful. To enhance the effect, a screen on one side of the stage displayed the live comments, as the director was determined to make the viewers cry along with us. Soon, each group would be joined by a new mystery guest, usually a parent or, if they were unavailable, another relative or friend. I had invited Olivia, Chloe's executive assistant, to join Sophie and me for this final segment as a friend. Although Chloe and I were married, to be honest, I had seen her assistant far more often than I had seen Chloe herself. Besides, I had important business with Olivia. I needed to get Chloe's schedule for the next few days from her so I could corner her to talk about the divorce. She was too busy. When it was our group's turn to give our tearful speeches in the middle of the red carpet, Olivia hadn't arrived yet, but she had messaged me saying she was close. So Sophie and I went first. The emotional background music started playing. We stood face to face, and I had to strain to make my eyes even a little bit red. But the viewers in the live chat, who had just been getting emotional and crying along, suddenly changed their tune. The scene is so emotional. The music is so emotional. But why do I burst out laughing the moment I see this big goofball Ethan? Trying to hold it in. .jpg. Uffed. Hold it in. You can't laugh during a scene like this. You're killing me. Ha ha ha. I'm a helpful person. I'll laugh for you. Ha 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 ha. The tears I had worked so hard to summon were gone. I had to fight to hold back my laughter, my lips trembling as I condensed the long, emotional speech I had prepared. Sophie, after the show is over, will you still want me as your friend? Whether you want to or not, I've decided you're my friend. By the way, about that promise you made at the food street to treat me to the most expensive meal, when are you going to make good on that? Give me a specific time. Next week or next month? Sophie's expression was one of pure disgust at my mood-ruining antics. I felt a little wronged. It wasn't my fault. It was those trolls in the live chat, spouting all that nonsense. If I didn't get this over with quickly, I was going to give myself an internal injury from holding in my laughter. Sophie took a deep breath, her pretty little face serious. Can you not divorce my mom? I froze. With that one sentence, no matter what chaos was erupting in the live chat, I couldn't laugh anymore. Her words made my heart ache a little. I want you to be my dad. I like you being my dad. I really mean it. If you're divorcing mom because of me, then I'll change. I won't say you're annoying anymore, and I won't lose my temper with you. I promise. It's not because of you. You're a good kid, the best in the world. Any other person would be lucky to be your dad, and they would love you and be proud of you. Then are you afraid that I'll bully your and mom's new baby in the future? I can explain. I'm not her biological daughter. You're her only boyfriend, and she's only ever been engaged to you. She's never had a child. My biological mother was her sister. She's my aunt. I was stunned for a moment, because the novel was so long. Even though I had my epiphany, I had forgotten some of the details. If Sophie hadn't brought it up, I wouldn't have remembered that she was the daughter of Chloe's sister, who had passed away from an illness years ago. Because Chloe's sister was an unmarried mother and the father was unknown, Chloe had adopted Sophie to give her a better life. But that didn't change the fact that I couldn't stay with Chloe. She didn't love me and I couldn't force it. It would only make her unhappy too. If you have a baby, I will never bully them. I'll even help you take care of them, and I'll love them very much. The divorce is between your mom and me. It's about the two of us and has nothing to do with anything else. But don't worry, even if we get divorced, I'll still come visit you and hang out whenever I can. Didn't I say it? We're going to be friends for life. Sophie's face fell, and she lowered her head again. After a while, she looked up again. Okay, I was being selfish. My mom is really mean to her husbands, and she never spends time with us. She's like a machine that only knows how to work. If you want a divorce, then go ahead. In the future, if you don't find someone you like, then wait for me. When I grow up, I'll marry you. Before she could finish, a deafening roar drowned out all other sounds. It was a helicopter. I was actually witnessing a real-life alpha CEO arriving at a show in a helicopter. Cameraman, get a close-up on their face. I want to see which badass CEO this is. Two women emerged from the helicopter, Chloe and Olivia. Chloe, walking in front, looked like she had just come from work, dressed in a snow-white silk blouse and a tailored suit that cinched at the waist. She was tall, slender, and exuded a powerful aura. The moment she appeared, the live chat exploded. Such a handsome woman. Damn, she's so freaking cool. So cool I'm at a loss for words. It's true, when a woman is this cool, men don't even stand a chance. 1 minute, I want all the information on this woman. Sophie and I were still in a daze. Chloe was always incredibly busy, never stopping for a moment. Why would she show up at a variety show? If the helicopter's roar hadn't been so painfully loud, neither of us would have believed our eyes. Sophie was calmer than I was. She ran towards Chloe first. Mom, it's Sophie's mom. Ah, this is insane. Ethan, you big idiot. Are you really going to divorce her? If you do, let me have her. Me too, me too. Before Sophie could finish, Chloe walked right past her. Then, we both noticed that the screen of the phone in Chloe's hand was playing our live broadcast, which meant she had seen everything. Me talking about divorce and Sophie agreeing to it and then promising to steal me away from her. Sophie and I looked at each other in silence, each lighting a candle for the other in our hearts. Chloe was known to only read financial reports, never watch entertainment shows. Sophie ran in front of Chloe again, her face a mask of grim determination. Mom, you're not allowed to be mean to Ethan. I ran over too, pulling Sophie behind me. I'm the one who wants a divorce. It has nothing to do with Sophie. This is between you and me. Why do you think I married you? I was speechless. I had to admit, I really didn't know why she had agreed to marry me. I only remembered that I had pursued her for a very long time, trying every day to find a way to see her, bringing her food, and sending her a share of anything good I had. On holidays, I would send her gifts, though she never accepted them. Just a month ago, I got drunk, stopped her car, climbed inside, and proposed to her. I vaguely remember bawling like a pathetic idiot, telling her I loved her so much I was going to die, and crying all over her collar. When I woke up, we were already legally married and had held a simple wedding reception that same day. Then she left on a business trip and hadn't come back until this very moment. I was clueless. Yeah, you've always been so cold to me. Why did you agree to marry me? I agreed because it was you. Why? Chloe took another step closer, and her light, orchid-like scent enveloped me. What do you think? Do you think you could have gotten my iMessage without my permission? That you could have gotten into my company to bring me food and gifts? That you could have stopped my car? Climbed inside? That you could have had the chance to tell me you wanted to marry me? This was the first time she had ever said so much to me. The Alpha CEO's long con. I ship it so hard, but doesn't she have a mouth? If she likes our goofball Ethan, why didn't she just say so? Sigh, what a shame, but she's beautiful, cool, and rich. Who needs a mouth? Chloe took another step, pressing herself almost into my chest. I stumbled back in a panic. So, if what she was saying was true, she actually liked me, which was why she let me chase her and ultimately married me. Then what about the male lead? What was the deal with Liam Carter? Couldn't be that I turned into a villain and ruined my own marriage just because I suspected something between her and Liam, right? Besides, it was a fact that she had always been cold to me. And those photos of Liam in her car and her hugging him proved she wasn't as innocent as she claimed. I calmed myself down again. Anyway, I want a divorce. Just assume I don't like you anymore, and we can part amicably. I've already made plans. From now on, I'm gonna work hard and make money. Who needs a marriage, a wife, or a daughter? They'll only slow down my money-making. Chloe stared at me intently, a flicker of hurt in her eyes. But she was always good at controlling her emotions, and she quickly composed herself. If you want a divorce, I respect your decision. Before we finalize it, I have one request. Go on. I know I haven't been good enough, and that's why you're disappointed and want to leave me. I'm just asking you to give me one more year. I will try to be a new and better wife. I've been working non-stop for the past month, since the wedding precisely, so I could clear my schedule to spend a proper honeymoon with you. I was not satisfied. A year? No way. Then half a year? No. Fine, 1 month. Just give me 1 month. If you still insist on leaving after that, I'll agree. Even a month felt long. Give me 1 month, and when we divorce, I'll give you $100 million. Before my epiphany, to prove I wasn't after her money, I had begged her to have a lawyer draw up a prenuptial agreement stating that if we divorced, I wouldn't get a single penny of her assets. So I never expected to get any money from her in a divorce. Now she was offering 100 million, and my heart skipped a beat. Just 1 month for 100 million. That sounded like a pretty good deal. Did the plot even matter anymore? But after a few seconds of hesitation, Chloe spoke again. 1 billion plus all of my personal shares in the company. All for you. My money is tied up in company projects, so the most cash I can offer right now is 1 billion. Think about it. Just 1 month. I wanted to call a lawyer to draft the contract right then and there. And so I shamelessly agreed, because, damn it, she was offering way too much. Could any human being refuse that? No. Fine, I admit it. I'm just a shallow, pretty boy living off Chloe Anderson. As soon as we got home, Chloe transferred the $1 billion to my account and tried to transfer the company shares to me as well, but I found it too troublesome and didn't sign the papers. A month later, several of Chloe's company projects turned a profit, and she transferred another $1 billion to me. Month after month, Chloe kept transferring money to me, and so, in the end, the divorce never happened. One day, I threw those photos of Liam in front of her. Chloe was completely unfazed. And you call yourself a Photoshop expert in front of Sophie every day? Can't you tell these are fake? And you know what? Upon closer inspection, she was right. And after that parenting show ended, Liam's contract with the company was terminated, and he had no further contact with Chloe. Liam was supposed to be the male lead, but because I made different choices instead of becoming a villain and following the plot, the male lead, lost his cool. He couldn't control himself and tried to oppose me, falsely accusing me of buying followers. But he never expected Chloe to expose him, and in the end, he couldn't win against me. The following year, I accidentally got Chloe pregnant. I had planned to wait another couple of years, and I strongly suspect Chloe orchestrated it, but I have no proof. After she got pregnant, she bought me a luxury yacht as a gift, so I decided not to press the issue. Besides, someone had promised in front of millions of viewers that she would help raise the baby. So I willingly resumed my life as a simp for the Alpha CEO. I started helping Chloe manage the company, began cooking her 3 meals a day again, and doted on her constantly. And Chloe, true to her word, treated me better and better. I was so happy I completely forgot about the whole divorce thing. The next year, our daughter Lily was born. Whenever Sophie was on break from school, our house looked like this. Sophie, your sister's hungry. Go make her a bottle. Sophie, your sister's crying. Go comfort her. Sophie, your sister pooped. Change her diaper. And then Sophie would go, muttering to herself, again? Didn't she just go? Dad, Lily's poop is a bit dark this time. Do you think she's dehydrated? Should we add some electrolytes to her formula? After her sister was born, this once cool little princess had become an expert at taking care of her. Oh, and there was one other major change. The girl who used to be as cool and aloof as her mother was now a total chatterbox.